right, hey everybody, Mark Burgess here, Big East Bass Fishing. Out here in my new boat garage, just getting things ready for the season, late January right now. So I thought I'd bring you another story from the road. I've got a lot of feedback on the last couple of stories that I did from, back in the day, tournament fishing. So here's one. This was second year Elite Series 2010. First tournament of the year was California Delta. So obviously, that's a long ride, for me being from Massachusetts. So I got an early start. Typically I left about a day earlier than all my friends that I'd made on the Elite Series, and I traveled with a couple guys that I traveled with. And so this was no exception. So get on the road. The guys that I was traveling with, Matt Herron, Vince Fox, Matt's from Alabama, Vince is from Oklahoma. We were all going to stay in the same campground. So they get on the road the next day. So that gave me someone to, talk to that was quite a bit ahead of where I was in the trip. So that time of year, a lot of weather coming across the country. So I wanted to avoid that if at all possible. And so I took the low road, if you will, out to Southern California, and taking me down across, the top of Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma. So I think the first day, I made it, can't remember exactly right now, possibly, Virginia, something like that. I do know the second day, made it out to Oklahoma. After 2 days of driving, I was in Oklahoma, I believe. But anyway, like I said, so constantly talking to Matt and Vince, because they were ahead of me. I was the first one to leave, then Matt, and then Vince, of course, being from Oklahoma. So Vince and Matt got hooked up, and they were ahead of me. And so somewhere along the line, they decided that they were going to have a little fun at my expense. And we started talking about zebra mussels and milfoil. Okay, so California was petrified that zebra mussels and milfoil were going to be introduced into their lakes where they did not have either of those invasive species currently. So there was a lot of talk about that within the bass community. There were special bulletins put out, messages from bass about what was going to happen. And, when we got there, there was going to be a full-on inspection for zebra mussels and milfoil. And I'll get into how thorough that was here in just a minute. So that was a big deal. So I had a brand new boat, had not even been in the water yet. There's a lot that goes into that as far as getting the boat, getting it wrapped, getting everything rigged, all your stuff dialed in as much as possible. And then that was a good 4-day ride, 3.5, 4 days from, basically coast to coast from Massachusetts to California. So put a lot of time and effort into that. So one thing that they had mentioned was if there was any water in the boat, if they could possibly quarantine the boat. You wouldn't be allowed to use your boat, so that you may have to borrow a boat or something like that. So we're all making these, as much plans as we could, concessions and plan B, C, if you will, in case something like that happens. So I wasn't too concerned about it because it was a brand new boat, you know. So I was like, I was conscious of, you know, the boat getting wet, and you know, back then, you know, if I could travel without the cover, I would, you know, if the road was dry and clean. So that's what I was doing. So got to talking with Matt and Vince, and when they got to the California border, it literally looks like you're going into another country. You know, it looks like you're crossing into Canada or Mexico, but like a border crossing. And, you know, with, you know, government security, homeland security, all of that. So they decided that they were going to tell me, and I was still like a day away from them then, that they really gave him a hard time. But at the end of their inspection, which was extremely thorough, you know, at the border, we haven't even gotten to the tournament site yet, that they were telling them that they weren't really worried about guys from Alabama and Oklahoma because there weren't any zebra mussels in those areas, and really not that much milfoil, if any. So they really weren't worried about them. But what they were worried about was guys from the Northeast, where there were zebra mussels currently. So they told me that they were really focused on guys coming from my area. Now, 2010, there was only 2 of us coming from this area. So, so needless to say, I was a little bit concerned. So for about a day until I reached the California border, I was just totally anal about the boat being dry, and if there was any sign of moisture at all, the cover was on. And whenever I stopped, I'd open up all the compartments, especially the bilge, and I had a roll of paper towels, and I was back in there, and you know, any water at all that was in the bilge, I was, you know, making sure that I got all that out of there, and the live wells, and there was not a drop of water to be found anywhere in this boat. So needless to say, I was a little concerned, a little nervous, okay? So you drive for 4 days only, you know, to be told that, you know, you can't use your boat, or you're not even allowed into the state. All right, so I got some pictures of this too. So I'm coming up to the California border, and sure enough, you know, looks just like you're going into Canada or Mexico, border crossing, homeland security, border patrol, all of that, everywhere. So, you know, I pull up, and they wave me over right away. So, oh boy. So I'm driving a 4-door diesel dually with 11.5-foot Arctic Fox camper on the back, towing my bass boat. And at that point, I had the cover on it. So I pull up, they have me come over to the side. A group of guys come walking out, and they're walking down both sides of my truck and camper, and they're looking at everything, and all the real serious and all. And so I get out, and I'm ready to completely cooperate, and you know, show them anything that they want to see, whatever. And you know, I got my whole spiel all in my head. You know, it's a brand new boat, never been in the water, da da da. So all of a sudden they just start, you know, talking fishing and this and that, and you know, the tournament, and how you know, just seen a lot of boats coming through from all over the country, you know. And so then, you know, it was just kind of like, the conversation kind of like wasn't going anywhere. It kind of petered out, and it was like, all right, hey, awesome boat, man, just killer setup. This is awesome, man, because the whole, you know, the truck's wrapped, camper, boat, the whole bit. And so then they were just like, oh, good luck in the tournament. All right. That's it. Never even took the cover off the boat. Never wanted to even look at the boat. Never even looked at the bilge area. Never even looked under the boat, by the motor, nothing. In the camper, nothing. Could care less. So I got back on the road in California. I call up Matt, because he's the instigator. He is laughing. See, he's laughing at just my phone call, just answering the phone because he knows. He knows that they got me good, and they did. They got me real good. I was completely freaked out. over nothing, you know. So they had a huge laugh over that, and they're a couple of great guys, you know, and enjoyed traveling with them immensely. So they got one on me right there, and so, you know, I said, payback, man, payback, you know, just you never know when it's going to come, you know. But on a more serious note, when we did get there, always the first Elite Series event of the year, there was a full inspection of your jersey, of your boat, make sure the wrap was met their requirements. They gave you the additional decals and signage that you needed to have, you know, on your boat. You know, like ESPN, ESPN2, whatever it was at that time, you know, the Bass Shields, all of that. So I think Toyota was part of it as well. So they do all that anyway, and they take pictures of your whole rig. They take photographs, you know, profile of you and stuff like that, and you do media and all of it. But one part of it was that we had to go to a big wide open parking lot, and they had a full inspection of our boats. And when I mean full inspection of our boats, they had dogs that could smell zebra mussels. No word of a lie. So they put dogs on everybody's boat, and they looked down in the bilge and they looked for water and this and that. And of course, you know, I told them, hey, brand new boat, never been in the water anywhere, so it's impossible, you know, that there would be zebra mussels, you know, in my boat, or weed seeds like milfoil, whatnot, you know. But they were pretty serious, you know, and you had the whole form you had to fill out that you passed the inspection, and that was the only way you were allowed to use your boat, if you passed that inspection. So they were pretty serious about it, you know. So that all kind of played into Matt and Vince's little prank, you know. So but it was a great experience going out there fishing California. The Delta is just amazing. Can't wait to get back out there again. You know, Clear Lake as well. Just awesome experience, you know, out there fishing. So, like I said, can't wait to go back. So that's a long-winded story from the road. I got a lot more of them, but I thought I'd do that one now for you, and I hope you like it. Hope you enjoy it and get a laugh out of it, you know, like I can now thinking back on it. So that's another story from the road. Mark Burgess, Big East Bass Fishing. And depending on the platform, please like, share, subscribe, all of that. It just really helps out. So look forward to doing the next one, and appreciate you watching. Thanks. Bye-bye.